Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
A historic verdict.
We find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
Jennifer Crumbley becomes the first parent in the United States to be held criminally responsible for a mass shooting committed by their child. It's a somber victory for all those in Oxford who have suffered since that fateful day.
I feel that this verdict is going to echo throughout every household in the country.
As one parent told us tonight, this isn't a celebration, but it is one step toward accountability for a community that's been fighting ever since that terrible day to see it. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kimberly Gill.
And I'm Damon Fernandez in for Devin Skillian tonight. Amara McDonald has been covering this case since the start. She's live at the Oakland County Courthouse tonight. Mara, there's a verdict, but a whole lot more to come.
Well, Damon, that's right. Every legal expert we've spoken to tells us that Jennifer Crumbley absolutely will appeal. Add on top of that, her husband's trial is set to begin in March. Then you circle back and go to Oxford. You have parents there who still are demanding accountability from the school district. And don't forget, there are multiple civil lawsuits out there hanging in the balance as well.
We find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
In the end, Jennifer Crumbley told jurors she took no responsibility for what her son has done and didn't see what she could have done differently. A jury, after a day and a half of deliberating, didn't buy it. The jury foreperson telling us the 9mm handgun they bought their son days before the shooting was the linchpin.
The thing that really hammered it home is that she was the last adult with the gun.
The gun that wasn't safely secured, the gun the Crumbleys never told the school he had access to, the gun he was looking up ammo for, and the gun sitting in the backpack no one at the school thought was important to look at, despite his violent drawings, hallucinating, and other troubling behavior. In other words, what the prosecutor presented to them as gross negligence on Jennifer Crumbley's part. Parents like Greg Schilling, Justin's dad, were in the courtroom listening as the verdict was read.
I'm happy with the verdict, even though it's still a sad situation to be in. It's got to stop. Everything that's going on, we have to address everything, and the root cause. Everybody involved. It's accountability, and this is what we've been asking for a long time.
There is no joy, but somber relief.
There's nothing here to be happy about. We can be glad that the jury came back with the verdict that they did, but it's never. This whole situation is sad. It's just sad.
Parents view what happened today as a step, and a long overdue one at that. Attorney Van Johnson, who is representing several of the parents in civil suits against the school district, agrees.
It's a major second step along the way, but we have a third step with Mr. Crumbley, and then we have 2 more steps with the civil cases, one in state court, one in federal court. So we have a multi-step process. So it's one of many, but one at a time. It is a good day.
Back here alive, also a good day for Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald. Jennifer Crumbley is set to be sentenced in April. Demond, Kimberly, back to you.
Now, Mara, you've spoken with a lot of Oxford parents over the last 2 years. How did they take Crumbley's testimony on the stand?
I was texting with them back and forth as all this was going on, and I think the first thing that I got from them was just utter incredulity at what was being said on there. And I think they took it really as a gut punch, especially when Jennifer Crumbley said, she didn't know what she could do differently, and didn't take an ounce of responsibility for anything that had occurred. Demond, back to you.
Thanks, Mara.
Well, with the guilty verdict for Jennifer Crumbley, focus now shifts to her husband's upcoming trial. James Crumbley pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. During Jennifer's trial, she testified her husband was the one in charge of making sure the firearms were secure in their home. We'll see if that is touched on again. The trial is set to start in early March with jury selection. Join our Local 4 morning team tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. They'll be joined live by a legal expert to talk about what the Jennifer Crumbley verdict could mean for the James Crumbley trial and what this verdict could mean for parents of school shooters moving forward.
The search continues tonight for a missing infant out of Auburn Hills who may be in danger. 1-month-old Eliza Prowell Smith was last seen Friday at an apartment complex on South Boulevard in Auburn Hills. Police believe the infant is with her mother, Amanda Prowell Smith, who has a history of mental illness. Now, if you have any information on where they might be, you're urged to call Auburn Hills Police or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. A stretch of 9 Mile in East Point is going on a diet. Now, that's the term council used tonight when it voted to reduce the road from 5 lanes to 3 lanes.
The 9 Mile project focuses on a 1.5-mile stretch between Gratiot and I-94. The meeting just ended. Jacqueline Francis is there with a big reaction from residents. Jacqueline.
A lot of people are going home frustrated tonight after attending a nearly 4-hour city council meeting where a majority of people spoke out against the proposed lane reduction. Those opposed included public safety officials and business owners, but in the end it did pass in a 3-2 vote. It's called a road diet, and it's getting a big reaction from the East Point community.
And I oppose the road diet. I don't think that it's going to be saving us any pounds or money.
By diet, they mean shrinking the road. In this case, the proposal was to reduce 9 Mile between Gratiot and Tuscany to 3 lanes instead of 5.
If you go through with this, your plan, I will definitely put my beloved home up for sale and take my tax dollars somewhere else.
The overwhelming response from the public was don't do it.
I'm a school bus driver and I do not agree. It takes us a long time to get those kids home.
Police and fire have expressed concerns about how the reduced lanes would impact their response times. City leaders in favor of the proposal have said 3 lanes will improve walkability, make it safer for pedestrians, add green space, and attract businesses. But this business owner and many others disagree.
If it's just 1 lane, you're never going to be able to get out. And traffic's going to be backed up way down.
In the end, it came down to a vote. Again, that vote was 3-2. The measure did pass. Construction is likely to begin in the fall. Reporting live in East Point, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Okay, Jacqueline, we appreciate it. A celebration of life is planned for former Pistons player and community ambassador Earl Kuran. The ceremony will take place this Saturday at 1 o'clock at St. Cecilia's Church in Detroit. In lieu of flowers, those who wish to honor his memory are asked to make a donation toward the restoration of the Ceciliaville Gym, also known as the Saint, where Kuran spent much of his childhood. We've posted a link to the donation site at clickondetroit.com. Kuran, a Finney High graduate and University of Detroit standout, passed away unexpectedly Sunday morning at the age of 66. The former home of the Red Wings is now the site of brand new luxury apartments.
Yeah, the Residences at Water Square is a 25-story all-glass residential high-rise on the former site of Joe Louis Arena. Now it has 500 units and the building is pet-friendly. The structure itself was built in just under 2 years' time by Detroit-based Sterling Group, who acquired the 5-acre property in 2019. Now monthly rent ranges from $2,000 to $4,800.